I think there are too many grey, bland office buildings in our cities. They tend to be characterised by high-performance tinted glazing, which makes them very black. You can't really see into the buildings at all. Grey aluminium. And the buildings kind of look anonymous, and they almost look like people wearing sunglasses. So we wanted to make a very different type of building. And so we had this concept of making a tower of wood, of wood louvers. And to have a building appear that way, you really need to put up the wood on the outside, which of course is extremely difficult to do, or you need to sheet the building in a really clear sheet of glass and have the wood louvers tightly behind that. And then have the performance glazing behind that.
So Somfy partnered with Perma-Stiliza to deliver the facade on this project. Our involvement has been around supplying the motors, the control system, and install and commissioning of the control system on the building. The project's got a number of technologies that allow the blinds to operate. The first of those is sun tracking. So as the sun moves through the sky, it's at different angles on different days of the year, and the blades will actually move through a series of positions to make sure that the right solar loading is on the building, so it's protecting the building, and also letting a certain amount of light through into the floor plate without having glare for the people actually within the building. The second part is shadow management, and the idea of shadow management is that as the sun moves around the sky, the other buildings around 200 George Street will cast shadow over the facade. Now the idea of shadow management is to make sure that only the blinds that are directly in the sunlight are actually closed, and the blinds that are in shadow from the other buildings are then able to open. The other technology that we've used on this project, and it's the first time in Australia, is web remote. So the idea is that there's no switches on the wall inside the building. All of the local control or personal control for the users inside the building is from iPad, iPhone, or on their computer. They basically log into a website, they've got control over a particular area where they're seated, and they can then close the blinds further if the blinds aren't quite closed enough for them. How would the motor work? How would the automation work in conjunction with the facade? So there's been a lot of R&D on a global level, and this is the first example of a project in Australia.
To deal with the different issues of orientation and heat load, when you match those to a desire for view and natural light and glare control, my own view is at the moment you need an active system. You need a kinetic facade that's going to respond automatically to these variables. So a mechanical system like that, located with motors on the outside of the unit so they can be accessible and so on, is integral to a success. Partnering with industry is really key, and Somfy are involved in this automated system, so their involvement again was pivotal to the success of this facade system.